Hi, my name is Edson M. Pansahan and I am your presenter for today, and I will be discussing the difficult customers and situation. Let's get into this.
I'm very frustrated. I hate this company. Why my bill went up? Oh my god, what happened to my cable and my internet? Why is it not working? My god, what happened to my technician? Why did it call when there's no technician? What happened? Why is it that I have this kind of statement? Why is it that I would just get charged of $100? What happened? Why is it my promotions ended already? I thought that it would be next month. What happened? Why is it my remote is not working? Did you hear that? Is it sound familiar to you? Yes. So those are the concern, and those are the things that we heard from our customers. This is not new for everyone, most especially if you're working in a customer service. So let's talk about this. Before we start, let's learn our objective for these discussions. So at the end of this lesson, you will be identifying the methods of diffusing customers' anger or hostility. And at the end of this lesson as well, you will be develop strategies for handling difficult customers. And identify the situation that tend to be difficult and develop strategies to diffuse them. Let's start. So what are the ways for us to be able to handle this kind of customer? How can we pacify them? How can we make them understand that we are here to help them? Right? So the first key that we need to that we will be using is listening. One of the major key to handle this kind of customers, most especially if you have an irate customer or an angry customer, right? So why is it important to listen to a customer, and how is it effective for us as a customer service representative? So when you say listen, so there are a lot of definition about listening. Some say it's hearing. Yes, it's hearing. But other than hearing, what are the other definition or meaning of listening? When you say listening, what does it mean? Right? When you say listening means that we understand and we hear our customer. Not just hearing, but we also understand, and providing or paraphrasing the concern of the customer. That's the way we communicate to them. So listening is something to do with response appropriately to our customer. At the same time, we also hear them and understand what their concern and why they are experiencing, or how can we make them feel better during those times that they are frustrated or have that experience on the company itself. And the second thing and important thing that most of us are lacking sometimes is empathizing. Empathize. What is empathize? When you say empathize, it means that you put yourself into customer situations. Let's say the customer is very angry because the technician didn't show up into her house, and her TV and her internet is currently not working. So, if you're in the place or in the situation of the customer, how would you feel? Right? How would you feel? Like, if the technician that was scheduled for you was canceled, or was suddenly canceled, and you don't have internet, you don't have cable service, and you have a business online, and at the same time you have as a parent, you have a student or you have a kids who study online. So how would you feel, right? So you will probably feel upset. So in order for us to understand them, we need to put ourselves to their situation. You know what, man? I totally understand you, because I'm also a customer itself, and if I am on your situation right now, I would feel the same way. But nothing to worry. You got me on the line. I am willing to help you right now with your concern. I will make sure that before this call ends, I will be your ally, and I will provide you the best and guaranteed resolution. That's an assurance, right? You assure the customer that you are willing to help them with their concern, and you are there. You on the call. You are not just there for nothing, but you are there to help them. And try to feel like not a robot, like you're reading a script and you are just memorizing, sentences and paragraphs. Don't be sound like that. Don't be sound like scripted, but rather be a human. Try to be a human. Try to understand them. And in that way, the customer would feel that they are valued. They are talking to a person, a real person, not a robot. Right? You're not sound professional. Well, that's sometimes what we hear from our customers. Why? Because they feel that you are not helpful to them. You are not helping them. And at the same time, you are not effective for them. Well, we cannot blame them though, because they have bad experience. They have went through a lot before reaching a representative, and to feel that you need to be very professional, or as much as possible, response professionally. In what way? Okay, now let's say you handle a customer that is very irate. In other words, they're really upset. How could you handle them? Would you also feel upset to the customer? Of course, no. Why? Because we are there to help them, not to set the fire up, right? So instead, be polite to them and be professional, and just do your job and help them. Offer your service, offer your help, and don't mix up with your personal feeling and personal intuition towards the situation. If the customer is venting out, just listen to them. Just hear them. Just wait for them to cool down. And then after that, then that's the time that you, of course, respond and give your comments, right? How about, I don't really understand the customer. I cannot understand what he's trying to say to me. I don't know if I heard it correctly or not. What were you gonna do? This is the time that you are gonna ask questions. That is why, as a representative, if you don't understand the concern of the customer, ask question. There's nothing wrong asking question. But make sure that before you ask the question, you at least provide or hear that, like for example, your customer is sharing something, so at least you have some portion that you accumulate from those statements that the customer provided to you, and then try to form it as a question or a confirmation to your customer. Don't be like don't be sound like don't throw a open-ended no like a yes or no questions, but rather try to ask them like an open-ended questions. Use the what, when, where, how. Those are the questions that you need to ask the customers. Can you tell me what happened? And you could also then what can you see on the screen of your TV? Did you see any error message or any error code? So those are the open-ended questions. So you let the customer explain what happened. You let the customer explain that, explain the situation, because in that way you would better understand the concern of the customer, and you would know what to do after that. So, what to do after asking questions? I have a lot of questions already that's on my mind. And then how about if the customers already share their what their experience all about? Like the customers proactively saying the concern, and I already understand it. So what do you need to do? Of course, the only thing you need to do is paraphrase it or provide feedback. Okay, ma'am. So from my understanding, based on the statement you provided, that currently you are experiencing this the no picture on the screen of your TV, and as for my understanding, that you have seen as well a no picture message on the screen, or there is also a code that is showing on the screen. Is that correct? So those are a confirmation or paraphrasing the concern of the customer. Don't parrot the customer. What do you mean by parroting? Meaning you repeat what the customer tells you. So just be creative, and you need to be more specific to the concern of the customers rather than a general idea, right? So in that way, they would feel that they are heard by the representative and they are understood by representative. Lastly, of course, if you're done asking questions, give feedback, the last thing that you need to do is to summarize the call. Why is it important for us to summarize, and what are the other terms of summarizing? Meaning, you are what? Aside from summarizing, what is the other term? Recap, right? Summarizing could also be a recap. So when you summarize, make sure that you highlight what are the things that you do for your customer. Don't just say what makes customers angry, like how does they feel, but rather how are you able to help them, because in that way they would think, okay, yes, that's correct, the agent was able to help me regardless with all the experience that I have, and I feel that I am valued right now. So touching, right? So those are the things that really important when you handle the customers. To be honest, not easy for us to handle those customers, most especially because it's uncontrollable. Why is it uncontrollable? Because we don't know exactly what happened to them. There are customer who is angry because they keep on calling us, calling and calling and calling, waiting for the queue for like an hour or two, and at the end of the day, the issue is not resolved. So that's why, as a customer service, we need to be very careful. We need to be, as calm as possible. If we handle this kind of customers, we make sure that we have a very long patience. Patience is a virtue, I tell you. In this kind of industry, patience is very is a must. Because if you don't have a patient, then don't enter. Don't you ever apply for customer service, because you will not survive. And aside from that, of course, you need to be very you need to be professional. That's important, because being professional means that you are not affected, though you're not a robot. Like you're not affected inside, but you did not mix your personal feeling and your personal intuition towards the situation, but rather you take it as a opportunity to help the customer, to make them feel that they are valued, that they are important to us. That's the main point, and that's the main job that we have when we decided to enter this kind of industry. So those are the things that we need to remember. And of course, be kind and be polite at the same time. If the customer is venting out and angry and have their frustration expressed, then just be calm. Just be calm and handle the concern step by steps. Just spoke softly and slowly, and in a calm and a very polite way. Don't go over to the level of the customer. If the customer is venting out, don't vent out as well. Don't level up to their the horizon, or to the level of their frustration. Be neutral, and as much as possible, always say good words and positive words rather than the negative, because the more you say positive, the more the customer would feel that you are genuine and you are sincere to your job and to your desire to help them, because that's very important, the sincerity, because not all the time it's about you, it's about the representative, but sometimes it's about their experience, it's about the company itself, like the service, the inconvenience they are feeling right now, and at the same time the kind of service that they have. So you need to be an ambassador, because we are the ambassador of the company that we're working, and we're paid for that one, right? So mabuhay mga bayani, mga bayani puyat. Okay, to summarize everything, so today's topic, we discuss about what are the difficulties or the situation that in order for us to handle those customer that has a bad experience, or let's say they are angry or irate customers. So what are those? First, we have listening or listen, and we also have empathize. Of course, we need to empathize. We need to put ourselves in customers' situation, or in customer's shoe, and at the same time response professionally, which means that we
will be professional to our customers. Don't mix your feeling with the emotions that the customers are trying to show or to to show in the call. And at the same time, we also learn to an open-ended questions that would help us cover or discover the concern of the customer or the needs of the customer, right? So those are what, when, where, how, and why. And aside from that, we also learn to provide feedback with our customer, like of course paraphrasing the concern of the customers. Aside from getting all the information, we also paraphrase it to make sure that we understand the concern of the customers. And other than that, we also learn to summarize the concern of the customer. So we need to summarize everything because we need to highlight what we did on the call, how we are able to resolve the concern, and how we can make their day much better. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you learned something for this discussion, and see you next time.